Trigger warning for the Russian trolls. This is about the Su-57. So the National Interest reports that the Russia's Su-57 fighter isn't making a comeback just yet. They've increased deployment of their Su-57, the Felon, multi-role fighters in the Ukraine conflict, launching over 6 KH-69 nice cruise missiles in recent sorties. But don't be fooled, this fighter jet still has many issues to be worked out. The summary is they've increased deployment. We literally just read that, guy. Come on, man. Write better. So they've been operating escorted by Su-35s, but they've remained within Russian-controlled airspace for fear of getting shot down by their own friends or enemies. Production is ramped up with plans to form a full regiment by the end of 2024. Despite its advanced design and stealth capabilities, the Su-57 has faced criticism regarding its true fifth-gen status. Now, if you remember the documentary Top Gun Maverick, it did not do well against the
F-14A.
Tomcat.
The F-14A with basically no Rio. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. But it did the Hayaka thing, so that was cool. Over the past month, Russian forces have launched more than 6 subsonic KH-69 missiles towards target in Ukraine. However, while they're escorted, they've stayed in Russian territory. And basically, it just says the production is going up. They've hit a steady production space. And then they have additional batches of Su-35s. Remember, the Su-35s were going to go to Iran, but I don't know if that ever happened. I think they were saying that's not actually a thing. So, but they've said they're going to upgrade it even more to make it 6th gen. So a version would be the 6th gen, which no one really knows what that means at this point. What is 6th gen? What does that have? But it took them almost a decade, which we're not going to talk about how long things take to get into service. But the biggest knock has remained the number in service because, while it looks like production is increasing, it's not going to match what they have with the F-35. So we pretty much just went around and around in circles to say they're building more, but they still don't have enough. And they're not using it very well. But it does have an ESA radar, and it can launch the hypersonic missiles, which is a good capability. But the big thing is, once again, when you read these articles, they don't actually say what their premise says. Yes, they're going to have production capability problems. Yes, that whole them launching that with Su-35 escorts, that's test. They're getting test data. They're trying to figure out what's going on and what it can do. We do that all the time, operational test, developmental test. It's not unusual, but to say that it's not really making a comeback. I mean, it's a new airframe in a conflict where they don't feel like they need it, because it's not like it's a huge air war right now. It's limited in terms of air to air. It's a lot of surface to air engagements, but not a whole lot of air to air engagements anymore. Gonky, what do you think?
Yeah, anytime I see any articles about the Su-57, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I mean, that's like the Raptor, right? I mean, how much how much does the general public really know about the Raptor? Not much. Yeah. Right? So the Su-57 is the same way. I'm sure it can do amazing things. I'm sure it has substantial problems, right? Because like Mover said, it's new. Probably anything new, there's some growing pains. And even if there are no growing pains, there's envelope expansion. You build a new weapon and you discover what it can do via your tactics. You don't want to use old tactics with new technology. It's not a smart thing to do. So I just take it with a grain of salt. Is it a good airplane? I don't know. Can it do all kinds of crazy stuff? Probably. Would I respect it in a fight? Yeah.
Yeah. And all the weapons that it can carry, I mean, obviously you would respect that, and that would be something that's a threat. Is it something that you worry about right now? No, because unless we go toe to toe with the Russians, in which case we've got bigger issues.
Right.
I mean, now we're talking nuclear v nuclear capability countries. We don't want to do that. So, I mean, it's like they talk about magazine racing, right? We're just looking at what's on paper, and we're saying that my dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah.
And until it really is a threat, we're going to be cognizant of it. But can you really definitively say it's making a comeback, or it ever needed to make a comeback? No. I mean,
Right.
it's a development that's ongoing.
The fact that that airplane exists is, yeah, I mean, it's power through deterrence, right? I mean, we're not sure what it can do, right? I
Yeah.
mean, but we know they have an airplane that is, I mean, it looks futuristic. It's a departure from, the conventional fourth gen airplanes that they have and we have. So I mean, it's, I- I'm with you, Mover. I hope we never find out what it can fully do, because then bad things are happening.
Other than what we already know from the
Right.
documentary with
Called
Thomas
Maverick.
Cruise. Yeah. What Pete Mitchell has already taught us about its capabilities.
Yeah. All you got to do is make its radar look low. And you
Yeah,
can,
it has no look down capabilities.
has
Just
no
like the
look
MiG
down.
28 had no negative 4G inverted
Yeah.
tanks and had a problem with that.
Just like the MiG-23 from the
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.